Welcome back, everybody, to round 4 of AM2 here at Singapore. It should be a good one. We'll first go over our driver standings and constructor standings. So for drivers, as you can see here, it looks like Stubbly. What the heck? The standings did not. Okay, well, sorry, boys. We're not going to do standings this week because they didn't update this. Well, sorry, everybody. The standings did not update this week, but we will get them next week. Technical difficulties on my side. Sorry about that. But I'm B. Schultz, and also in the booth with me this evening is Red Devil. How you doing today?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Schultz. Good evening. Good evening to everybody in the chat. Doing good. Looking forward to the race tonight in the Yas Marina circuit in Singapore.
Yeah, hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully we don't get too many safety cars, but it is Singapore, so expect to be here for a while, everyone.
Yeah, it is very. The corners are very narrow around here. You can go right into the wall, and if an overtakes goes bad, you're probably hitting someone. So I think everybody needs to watch out, be a little careful tonight, and make those overtakes look really good.
For sure. As it looks like Male Carton is going to be the first driver on track this evening. We'll hope for no rain. It is Singapore, so I'd say rain is not that likely, but we won't know until we get into the race here.
Singapore is, I think all the races this week have been pretty much dry. I think only EU2 had a little bit of rain at the end, but yeah, looks like fairly dry at the moment.
That was weird. Okay. Gotta love technical difficulties to start the night. It's always a great way to get out on a hot note here. As this is the new Singapore layout used for this year, and I think only this year, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see if the racing is better than previous years with the old track. As Mail is about to start his lap here, you want to be very careful that you don't invalidate coming to the line here, because it's definitely not fun if you do. As that looked pretty tidy through the first 3 corners here. We'll see if he can hook up turn 6, or turn 5, sorry, which is really easy to invalidate, which he does. Turn 5 is very easy to invalidate around here because it's so close to the wall, the track limit. There is a white line. You'd think the track limit would be the wall, but it is not, as it looks like Fuse has invalidated his lap as well. So we'll go on board with Kane here.
I think he aborted his lap too. He got a little bit loose there coming out of turn 3, so I think he's decided to abort it.
Okay, then we'll go on board with Chaggerty here. Looks like he might be the first driver to be putting in a real lap. Looks like we got some support for Redog in the background there. He was our winner last time out. I'll be interested to see what performance Stubbly puts in, as he did miss last race. But our podium last race was Redog, F7R, and Nick Minty, so we'll see what the type of performances they can put in here to help the championship.
As F7R has crashed out, it looks like. I'm thinking somewhere in sector 2. Oh, coming out of the bridge. That's unfortunate for the podium finisher from Austria. Uh, yeah, I think he'll be starting at the back. Hopefully, he can make up a few places.
Yeah, that is not fun. This is not the track where you want to be starting from the back, but it is what it is. You just got to put your head down, and I'm sure there'll be some safety cars. So if he puts in the right strategy, I'm sure he'll be okay. As Kane sets a 134, but as we saw, he was blinking, which means he was recharging his ERS, so that is not a competitive lap time. As Chaggerty is going to set a 131.4 to put him on provisional pole.
As Fiverr goes up to provisional pole now with a 137. That's a pretty decent time from the Alpine driver.
As we'll go on board with MVD here as he's going out of the last corners here. Crosses the line. He's going to set a 131.8 to put him P3 as there's an AlphaTauri behind with a 130.3 of DK Nortec.
As there's as I think Fire Gab, who was in a good position in Netherlands, has invalidated his lap. Nick Minty in the Haas goes on provisional pole with a 130.0 flat time. That's a really decent time from the Haas driver.
No, a very good time for sure. I'd say pole time will probably be either low 29s or high 28s, but it is Redog probably. So he will, I mean, I know he was setting 28 threes earlier, so we'll see what he can pull out today.
As Fuse goes P2 with a 132.
Wow.
Mail goes P1, provisional P1 with a 129.6. The Haas is looking really strong at the moment.
Yeah, that was a very good lap by him. Very respectable. That
Yes,
we'll see if it sticks.
Matt Duo is due to come across the line.
And it's weird as he's going to set a 29.5, which will put him provisional pole. That is a very good lap as well. As just talking about the final corner for a second, it is very easy to get loose as well and spin the car through there. So you got to be very careful.
As I see Electric Blade is
Oh!
on a hot lap.
As I say that, Fire Gab pirouettes it around the final turn, hits the wall. Luckily, he went in with his rear wing, so it should be okay. But I caught that at the perfect time.
That's unfortunate for the new Mercedes driver, being promoted from the reserve position to a full-time seat now. As Electric Blade crosses the line with a 130 flat as well. It's really close at the top here. As Redog is starting his lap as well.
I was about to say, I'll
It
go
looks
on
like.
board with good old Redog here. We'll see his qualifying prowess if it continues here. He does seem like to be the qualifying merchant. We'll see if I can continue on this race. He's going to come up on a little bit of traffic. Great rotation through there. I wish I could do that. A little bit loose on the back end there as he opens the DRS. Coming down into turn 14. Purple sector 2, not surprised there at all. Very also easy to invalidate out of turn 14 there, as track limits are a bit hairy. Redog's going to get a little bit of slipstream coming down into turn 16. Very tricky corners to get right. And we'll see where this puts him. Looks like a pretty dang good lap if I say so myself. And a 28.5, a second ahead of the field. Not shocked there at all. That'll probably be pole. So we're gonna go away from him for the qualifying session at the moment.
Stubley is on a. Looks like he's on a hot lap ahead of Bad Fast.
Okay, go on board with him here. As there's a Merc in the way, hopefully he doesn't get in the way. We're good there. As it says, Stubley has set up purple sector 2. Again, you never know whether that thing's telling the truth or not, so we'll stay on board here. Gonna get a little bit of a tow down to turn 16. Looked very smooth through there. Avoids the wall. We'll see what his lap time is. A 29.2. Aston Martin looking very good right at the moment with provisional P2 and P3. But a very nice lap by Studley there after taking last week off. Right back
Looks
on
like
form.
Bad Fast got a little loose there at the final corner, but he does put in a 132, just behind his teammate, separated by Nick Minty there in the Haas.
Looks like these two are recharging. We'll see if
Uh,
JDTV is on the medium tires, recharging as well, but that's a strategy call. Don't know if anybody's on their fast lap right now.
yeah, I think a lot of people coming out for their out laps at the moment, going for their second runs.
As JD is going to finish his lap, but still P17 for him, understandably, since he is on the medium tire compound. As qualifying does move quick around here, because if you don't want to burn your tires out, you got to do a very slow out lap.
Yeah, and you gotta come out pretty early as well if you want to do 3 laps around this track.
For sure, as it looks like Fiverr will be the first one to start his second flying lap, so we'll go on board with him here as he opens the DRS. See what his Sector 1 split time is. 27.2. He's marginally down, but I'm sure there's still time to gain around the rest of the lap here.
E. Warren behind Fiverr has also set a 27.2, so they might be in direct competition with each other.
For sure. As we'll see if Fiverr can keep it close here. We'll see if he's up on his Sector 2 split time coming to the end of Sector 2 here. And it looks like he is up by 0.2. So a pretty good jump, but
Sector
I
there
think
for
that'll only get him up to P10 at the moment, unfortunately. We'll see if he can gain any extra time in Sector 3 as he's coming to turn 16.
E. Warren behind Fiverr is up through the middle sector by a 10th as well.
As Fiverr's going to cross the line. Oh, and he lost time in the last sector there, as we'll go on board with the Warren, see if he can improve on his lap time. As he's going to put in a 130.6, which moves him up one more spot up into P11, well, at the moment.
I see the Ferrari of Fuse on a hot lap. He is about a 10th and a change up on his first sector.
We'll go on board with the MVD here, as it looks like he's about to finish his lap. It looks like he is up. He's going to come around the final corner and set a 131.1, which was 6.5 tenths up, but still only P14 for the McLaren driver.
The Haas driver of Mail decided to abandon his lap. I think he was a couple of tenths down there. As Fuse is about to cross the line. Goes P5 with a 129.8.
That's a respectable lap for sure from the Ferrari driver. We'll see if his other Ferrari companion can upgrade his lap time of a 31.4 coming through the final sector now.
He was 6 tenths up on his middle, so looks like it's going to be a really competitive time from the Ferrari driver.
With a 130.7, slots him only P13. I'm sure he wanted a bit more out of the car there, but he does have time if he scoots back to the pits to put in one final lap.
Unfortunate for Mad Duo, as he was 3 and a bit tenths up, but he did invalidate.
So we'll go on board with Orlando here. Took that at a very interesting line. We'll see if that pays off for him. This is a very interesting camera view. As we'll go on board with No HUD there for a second for that camera view. As he is marginally down. I don't know if this is unused tires. But unless he dives into the pits here, this probably is Orlando's final lap. So we'll see where it can slot him. It's not the best start of the season for Orlando so far. Has had a few tricky races. I'm sure he's eager to get back on this one, as he's going to dive into the pits there, as he was not up on his lap time. As we'll go on board with Deathstorm.
Was about to say that the Williams driver is going to cross the line. He was 2 and a bit tenths up on his first sector. He improves by half a second, but that only puts him up to P11 with a 130.4.
And can anybody say we're shocked to see Deathstorm in P11? I don't think so. That is his position. He owns it. I'm sure he'd like to be a bit higher, as I think Fire Gab went P2. I don't think I covered that. I don't know if you did, but I wasn't paying attention.
I was
Um,
actually looking at Electric Blade at the moment. He's about to uh, to come through the final corner. Actually, he goes into the pits. He was not happy with this a lap, it looks like.
as good job, Fire Gab. I don't know if we covered it, but 129.1 to put on P2. That's a very, very good lap. If Redog wasn't in a field of his own, um, you know, the fight for pole would be good.
Yes, looks like he won't be able to get in another lap, but Stubbly and Matt Duo will be looking to challenge Redog for sure. As Badfast looks like he's about to go through the final corner. No, he jumps back into the pits as well. Wasn't happy with his lap. Nortec is 2 tenths up on the first sector. Looks
Okay,
like Redog's teammate.
go on board with him. As Redog's setting his final lap, so we'll see where he slots in at the end there, but I'm sure he'll have a
Redog,
pole, so.
yeah, he is currently matching his best time through the first sector.
And I know we all know he's got qualifying pace. We'll see if his race pace can continue. He had great race pace last time out. He said he wasn't as good in race pace here, but we'll see if that's true. As DK's 3 tenths up on his lap, that'll slot him between P7 and P9. We'll see if he can gain any time in the final sector here.
And Redog has spun through going through the final through the bridge section, and it's not going to be a competitive lap time for him as he's a second down.
I would say you hate to see it, but I sort of love to see it. As DK flies up the board to P6 with a 29.7, gained a lot of time in that final sector there to jump him up the board. Very good lap by DK right there.
It looks like Stubbly has gotten a bit loosey goosey as well, and he's not going to put up a competitive lap time. Hopefully, he'll have some time to get back and do another lap if he has some fuel left in the car.
As JDTV is coming through to turn 16 here, his first lap on the soft tires, so it'll definitely be an improvement. We'll see how much of an improvement as he's coming out of the final corner here. And he's going to set a 130.4, which will slot him all the way up to P12. A good jump from him right there.
Nick Minty is about to cross the line. He's about half a second faster than his fastest time.
Go on board with him. If he carries that through the final couple corners, that'll slot him up very nicely there. As he's going to get a 29.6 to put him all the way up in the P5 right in front of his teammate. Definitely, I'd say the most consistent teams at the moment are Aston Martin and Haas. They always seem to be up at the front.
As Matt Duo is about to cross the line, he was only 2 tenths up on his time. So let's see where that puts him. He goes P4. He stays P4 actually. Does slightly improve by 6900s. Not enough to challenge at the top.
As Fire Gab just gets across the line to start his final lap. As we're going to go, I don't know who's coming to the end here.
Orlando is coming through the final sector. He is 3 and a bit tenths up on his time. Looks like Matt Duo has retired on track. You're really not supposed to do that, Matt.
Yeah, no from there. Which these guys might need to be reminded that you're not allowed to retire on track because it seems like that is a recurring thing. As Orlando's going to cross the line with a 29.6 to put him up to P7. That is qualifying complete for him. We'll go on board with his teammate, see if he can improve at all. He looks like he is 3 tenths up. As
Unfortunate for Mail as he is invalidated. He was 3 and a bit tenths up. So the Haas's will be starting together unless somebody splits them coming through these final stages in qualifying.
yes, as while we were on board, MVD did jump up to P15 with a 30.5.
Fuse is on a hot lap. He's about half a second up on his time. The Ferrari driver about to cross the line.
A
Can he
bit
make a
wide
dent in the
there.
top?
Oh,
He does. He goes P3 with a 29.1. Let's see if Fire Gab can improve on his time, though. He's about to cross the line. He does, but he stays P2 with a 28.8.
Yeah, Fire Gab looks fast. We'll see if he can put the charge to Redog here. Same with Fuse. You gotta love to see it. I definitely still say Aston and Haas looking the best at the moment. But again,
And
Redog on pole, not surprising there. I'm pretty sure that's his fourth pole position of the season. Um,
I think so. I'm not
yeah,
sure, but yeah, that is the end of qualifying. A very, I want to say a good qualifying session from especially Fire Gap. I think definitely is a contender from at least the qualifying session, and yeah, really looking forward to seeing what Fire Gap can do against Redog in the race.
yeah, for sure. We'll see what Fuse can put together too, because last time out in Austria, he did have a DNF. So he's
Yes,
definitely looking to get some good points here. But
yes, for sure.
we'll go through your starting order here as we got Redog on pole. No shock there. So we got Fire Gab in P2, Fuse in P3, Stubbly P4, Matt Duo P5, Nick Minty P6, Male P7, Orlando P8, DK P9, Electric Blade rounding out your top 10. We have Fiber P11, Bad Fast P12, Deathstorm P13, JD P14, MVD P15, Warren P16, Chaggerty P17, Kane P18, and F7R P19 rounding out your grid. So it should be a good one here. Everybody get your predictions of who you think's going to win the race. I'm going to go with Fire Gab winning. I'm going to say Stubbly gets P2, and I'm going to say Fuse gets P3. I just have a feeling that Redog is going to wreck out this week.
Oh, he's not gonna like you, like you making that statement there, Mr. Schultz.
Yeah, I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to give the facts.
As it looks like JDTV has lagged out, so I can only invite you, sir, when the session starts. So gotta be patient.
I got a jinx Redog. He's won too many times. But yeah, we'll see what Stubbly is interested to do. He does have a hot seat in the commentator's booth, it seems like. So he's looking to continue his podium streak at the end of this race. But it does look clear.
Yep.
Looks like there's no rain in the forecast, so it should be a good one. It could be a long one with safety cars, so grab a snack, grab a beverage, and let's get excited.
What does the chat think? A lot of people supporting Redog here. So any Stubbly or Electric Blade, who's also won a race, don't forget. Don't discount him. Any of their fans out there today? As we wait for the drivers to ready up. What do you think the strategy will be? People going on the hards to the mediums, medium to the hards. Anybody dare to put on the softs? Do you think?
I would say no. It'd be an interesting strategy, but I would definitely not want to do the soft tires around here. Tire degradation does seem high. Um, but yeah, we will see. I mean, you could definitely do the two stopper and do softs at the end if there's enough safety cars. But I definitely would not start on them.
Yeah, for sure. Softs are horrible at the start of the race, so hopefully nobody's chosen to go with that.
As it looks like Stubbly, or yeah, I think Stubbly in P4 as somebody jumps to start. That is JDTV, which I thought he left the session, but it does look like Stubbly is on the soft tire. We'll see if he can get the jump as he is tagged. And he lost a tire. Stubbly is out of the race in lap one.
Oh, that is unfortunate for the Aston Martin driver. He after missing last week, he would have hoped to get a catch up with the Redog by getting some good points. That is unfortunate for the Aston Martin driver.
As that does look
Uh,
like it's going to be a VSC, so we'll flash the tire detail on screen real quick. Stubbly was the only one on softs. It looks like a mixed grid between hards and mediums. Most people on hards. We'll see how that works out. But Fire Gab did get past Redog on the start there. We'll see if he can get continue in that position.
Not sure what happened there with the Alfa Romeo of JDTV. His AI just took control and is now leading the race.
Yeah, I was
This
gonna
is
say it doesn't.
I don't know what the hell happened there.
Yeah, it does not look like he's a drive-through. So
Yeah,
I'm very surprised. I'm not 100% sure what went on there, but I guess just leg up before the race starts and you gain all those positions. As there's the possible race strategies. Uh,
yeah. Looks like he joined after. I mean, he joined. Yeah, after the race started. So I'm not sure what's going on here, but yeah, looks like the race has begun, and Redog has or Firegab has started to catch the Alpha.
yeah, for sure. That was a weird one. I don't know why. At least he doesn't have a drive-through. But we'll see. He does look like he's back in the car now. So we'll follow this story.
Looks like everybody at the back is coming through single file. So that's good to see. As Firegab has caught up to JDTV and is now within a second of the Alpha.
Yeah, I mean, the field is. Oh, and it looks like JDTV is going to return those positions. Very sportsmanlike move of him right there.
Gotta applaud him for that. That is a gentleman's move right there to let everybody through.
No, for sure. He definitely did not have to do that. But you know what? Got to give respect where respect is due. That is what you like to see there. Obviously, that's a flaw in the game system. But yeah, got to respect him. He definitely did not have to do that. So give him a round of applause in the
Yep.
chat for that, everybody. As the field is pretty tight at the moment, it probably will file out a bit in the end once we get
Orlando has
going,
left.
because it
Looks
is.
like
Sorry, go ahead.
no, it looks like Orlando has left the session. So not sure what's going on here.
As it is very hard to drive right behind somebody here, as we got Kane and Electric Blade in the back there. I'm gonna guess they had a little bit of damage from the start, maybe pit, but long race. I'm sure there'll be a safety car, so I'm sure they'll get back into it here.
As Orlando was able to join quickly, if he takes control of the car, he'll be able to, keep the position as well as the DRS in the car from the car ahead.
For sure. As what a camera angle that was, of seeing all the cars come down the front straight. You really get to see the pure speed they use out of the final corner there. As
And
Fiverr,
Fiverr gets a 3-second time penalty.
first penalty of the day. I'm sure there'll be more.
Looks like Kane and Electric Blade had a moment, and both of them dived into the pits to put on a new set of medium tires, it looks like.
As Fuse was already blinking, so that means he is already below 10% ERS. So he might be having a little tough of a time sticking with these guys at the moment. As
Yeah, looks like
Chaggerty
he's
looks like he spun, he is dropping positions. We'll see. He's going to get back going. No harm, no foul, no loss of a wheel, and it doesn't even look like his wing is damaged. So that is good news for him.
looks like the Williams are close together at the back as well. They'll be trying to work together and move up the grid.
For sure. They're pretty good teammates with each other. So I'm sure they won't fight each other too hard. They know the game plan, and they know they just want to move forward as quick and as painless as possible. As the field
Look,
is already starting to spread out, lots of gaps starting to form. So we're going to stay on board with these top four guys, as they are the closest at the moment. We'll see if any movement comes. They might just be trying to save as much tire as possible at the moment.
Uh, it should be said that the Hases need to really catch up to Matt Duo here because they're on the mediums and looks like the top four from the top four, except Fuse, everyone are on the hard. So if they want to win this race or get podiums, they better start, making up a few seconds and getting into that DRS of the car ahead.
For sure, as Fire Gab went a bit wide, and I think that is turn 7, so I don't know if he got a warning for that, but No penalty at the moment as Fiverr is in pit road. Okay, he was the one with the penalty. I was going to say, I thought we had a penalty, but it wasn't showing up there
Yeah.
for a second. As we'll see if anybody goes to the move down into turn 14. I don't think anybody is close enough. DRS is not that powerful around here because the straights aren't that long. Um, but yeah, not too many passing opportunities here, but usually if you do get a pass done, it's a pretty nice one.
Will be interesting to see when Matt Duo finally makes a move on Fuse. He's blinking from the start of lap 3, so be interesting. And Fuse is on the softer tire with the mediums.
Yeah, for sure. As Redog has lost DRS to Firegab and Fuse has lost DRS to Redog. We'll see if Matt Duo can make the move out of turns 5.
The Mercedes driver is certainly showing some really good pace here, signing for the team over the week, and he's leading by 1.1 seconds to the winner of Austria, Redog.
As Matt Duo just does not have enough straight line speed to get past Fuse. We'll see if he can get up by him in the next DRS zone. This is the most intense battle on the track at the moment, as mostly there's second gaps between everybody, which is understandable for Singapore because it is very tricky to follow for long periods of time here. You do end up overheating your tires very quickly if you stay right in the wake of the other driver. As Matt
Looks
is
like a
right on the
Redog.
diffuser of Fuse, but he got a little bit of a worse exit off, so I don't think he's going to be able to make the pass down to turn 14.
Redog as well has caught back up to the Mercedes driver in P1. Both of them having very low ERS levels at the moment. Out of the top 4, looks like Matt is the one who's in a perfect position in terms of his ERS management. He'll be looking to make a move as soon as he can. The Haas's are trying to get within the DRS of Matt ahead, but Nick is not able to keep up with his teammate at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, for sure. Mail definitely looks like the faster Haas driver, but there is still plenty of race to go. We are only on lap 6.
As E. Warren passes F7RJs for P11.
As
That Storm has fallen back a little bit and is down in P14.
as Matt Duo just could not get the pass done. We'll see if F7R can get the pass back on E. Warren here. Very interesting camera angle, but he is not close enough to go for the move.
I'm guessing Fuse is running a little bit lower downforce than Matt here. And his straight line speed, even without the DRS, is probably greater than the Aston Martin driver at the moment.
As Redog gets very squirrely out of turn 13, but he did keep the car going straight. I think he's definitely pushing to try and stay with Fire Gab at the moment.
Orlando has, after being desync from the lobby, has caught up to the Haas driver of Nick Minty here, and he'll be looking to make some moves on for P6.
As Fuse is still blinking, as the leader gets a 3-second time penalty. That is not what you want to see when you are leading the race. Now he will have to win by 3 seconds if he wants to complete it.
Nick Minty coming out of the final corner, just clobbered into the walls. Hopefully, he does not have any damage from that.
Yeah, it looks good on my end. Does not look like any end plate or anything is missing, but you never know. As Matt Duo,
That,
as Fuse is in the wall, somehow
oh,
did not lose a tire, but he is definitely going to have to pit for a new wing. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. We did catch the very end of that, but that is very tough to see for the Ferrari, as he was having such a good race so far.
not sure what happened there. Was there a contact between him and Matt Duo? But he is definitely missing a right end plate. I think he should be
Oh,
feeling a little bit lucky as well.
as
And
the
there's a safety car.
as the Merc of Fire Gab slams the wall, and he no longer has his wing. We caught the very end of that too. We just saw the debris on track, but he no longer has any of his wing. So the first safety car of the evening, just some, I'd say, some poor mistakes out of the drivers. It didn't look like Matt Duo had any wing damage, so I don't know if he came together with Fuse. We'd have to see that at the end of the race. But yeah, Fire Gab here, definitely gonna have to pit for a new wing. Not exactly sure what happened, but we did see his. Oh, and that is a unsafe pit entry. That may cost him another penalty. Very unsafe pit entry there, as he almost comes back on track.
Not what you want to do there. But looks like nobody is pitting. He puts on a set of softs. Orlando comes in along with Chewy, both the McLaren drivers. They'll be double stacking. Not sure why both of them chose to come in, but Chewy set to lose a lot of positions. But he does put on a set of softs though, so I'm thinking they're gonna do two stops from this point.
For sure, as we'll look at the biggest gainers and the biggest losers here, as F7R up 11 positions after he had that woe in qualifying. So great drive so far for him. Also, E Warren up 9 spots, up in the P7. Great start to his race. Again, not so good for Fuse, as he did spin there. I'm a bit confused how that wasn't the safety car. I think the safety car came out for Fire Gab, who lost his front wing, which again, not too sure what happened. Don't know if he got hit from behind or if he just drove in a bit too deep. But as you just saw, it looked like, I think it was King, got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in pit road. So not what you love to see. But we'll look at tires here. You got Fire Gab and MVD on the soft compound. And then basically everybody else who pit was on the mediums other than Orlando. We'll see if Orlando can stretch those out to lap 31. They can probably go, but I definitely think they will be hurting at the end. As Deathstorm is your last driver not to pit. So they got 9 drivers who stayed out and 9 drivers who pit. So it'll be very interesting to see how the people who pit get through the field here.
Yeah, for sure. This also comes at a good time for drivers like Electric Blade and Cade, who were at the back of the grid, and they would have probably been hoping for a safety car to get them back into the race. And think they got their prayers answered at the moment. So they'll be looking to catch the field. They put on a fresh set of mediums as well at the back from P13 down to P18. So they'll be looking to make some moves and make their dent into the top 10.
For sure. That's a
I mean,
very costly mistake from those guys who lost their wings, but be very intrigued to see what happened between Matt Duo and Fuse. Matt Duo did not pit for a new wing, so I don't know if there was contact or if Fuse was just pushing really hard and binned it on his own. We'll definitely have to see when it comes race time. If he's in the podium there, we'll definitely ask him what happened. But
yep.
Redog, definitely not as quick as he was last week, but again, still definitely has the pace to try and put up a win here.
Well, right now his closest competitor, who was Fire Gap, is down in P10. So, but he has a set of softs, so he'll be looking to make the moves early and then pit along with Redog to be able to gain a few positions and probably pull a 3-second gap at the end if he can. But yeah, with all the guys ahead of Fire Gap on 8-lap-old tires, he'll be feeling pretty confident with his pace.
Yeah, he'll definitely have to use those tires. Probably, I'd say the first 4 laps. If he
Yep.
does not use those good at the start, he is going to drop like a fly, and he will definitely have to pit for mediums or hards at the end. He definitely cannot take the softs to the end.
For sure. But someone who could take their tires to the end is Orlando. He put in a set of the hard tires. So I'm not sure if he's hoping to take the car to take those tires to the end, because there's going to be about, if the safety car comes in next lap, about 21 laps of racing, I want to say. Um, yeah, hards can definitely go that far, but at the end they'll be, you know, they'll be crying at the end for sure.
Yes, I agree. I am very interested to see how Mad Duo, his pace, stacks up to Redog because Mad Duo was stuck behind Fuse, who was losing spots, or not losing spots, but losing time to the leaders. So I'm very interested to see if Mad Duo can keep up with Redog there, as they both are on the same tire compound.
Yeah, he want Redog to pull him as much as possible, so that he doesn't get eaten by Fire Gab when he's making his charge through the field. Remember, I think both of those, or all three of those drivers need to pit. So if Mad Duo wants a podium tonight, he'll be looking to keep that gap to Redog within a second, so he'll be able to be 3 seconds within Faragab at the end of the race to get P2 maybe.
Yeah, also the Haas's back into contention here. They were dropping off a little bit from the leaders. Both of them are right behind each other, both on used tires, but I'll be interested to see what type of pace they can put up. It also looks like they are both on the medium tire, which means it'll be very interesting to see which one pits on which lap. But DK as well, up into the top five, so good drive for Alpha Tower at the moment. Great points for them.
Yeah, the Haas's always seem to get good points. The duo of Male and Nick is a pretty formidable duo, I want to say, along with the duo of Matt Duo and and Stubbly. But unfortunate for Stubbly this race, he'll be kicking himself. Not sure what happened to him at the start, but yeah, he'll be really disappointed for sure.
For sure, as the lights are out on the safety car, so we will be going back to green here. We'll see when Redog can rejoin or start going again.
To answer your question, G-Bone, the top nine drivers are on 9-lap old tires, hards or mediums, and the rest of the field is on 2-lap fresh, either softs or mediums, except Orlando, who's on the hards.
As Redog's going very slowly, he's going to go right at the end there. Very interesting strategy because the line is very close to the final corner, so you are able to pass right after the line. As it looks like the Haas is going to try and make a move around the outside as his teammate almost clobbers the back of him, goes wide. He's going to rejoin. Does not look like he's going to get a penalty for it, but that was very close between the two Haas cars. He's going to lose a spot to DK Nortec. Maybe another
As
one to Bad Fast here.
Yeah, Nick Minty did get a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags under the safety car as well. So that is unfortunate for the Haas driver.
As Bad Fast is going to try and send it around the outside. No, he's going to stay in line. Very smart move from him there. As Nick Minty is definitely not feeling too good on the tires there. As it looks like Fire Gab is going to make a move on his teammate. That could have been a bit of teammate games there. As Fire Gab is on the fresher tires.
It did look like he let his teammate through, and that's a smart move by F7 RJs.
As we'll stick on board with Fire Gab here. We'll see if he can make any positions up as the Williams in front of him does a little bit of a lag spike there. A little bit of a heart attack for Fire Gab there as you could hear him get out of the gas. We'll see if he can make the pass down into turn 14. He's definitely going to want to make the way pass as soon as he can. Looks like he's
I
going to
think
burn
it's
some air.
raining at the moment. I'm not sure, but I see a few drops of rain
Oh,
coming
it
down.
does look like it's raining. Yes, Devil with the great commentary there. It does look like rain is starting to go down. Maybe Fire Gab knew that, and that's why he went onto the soft compound tire.
That's an excellent move by the Mercedes driver down the outside of Badfast, and excellent strategy as well. I want to say with putting on the softs. Orlando is probably the most unlucky one with pitting for a set of hards if it's going to rain for the rest of the Grand Prix.
As MVD pushes JDTV off the track a little bit there. Or sorry, Orlando does. We'll see if that affects anybody. It looks like Fuse is going to go here as Warren, retires in pit road. Not too sure what that's about, but it does not look like Fuse got past JDTV yet. We'll see if he can make the move as he's just going to drop back in line.
I think E. Warren just went into the pit there for a fresh set of intermediates. He did leave the session. You should have an invite to rejoin, Mr. E. Warren.
Oh, sorry, he left. I thought he retired. That is my bad. Commentary away, whoa, right there. But we'll see. Does MVD go for the pass on Nick Minty? It's not a very good passing zone. He's just going to fall back in line. As Fire
Fire
Gab,
Gap
sorry, go
makes
ahead.
another move on the Haas driver of Mail Carton. Apologies for that, but I was just looking at what he was doing, and he's making moves. And now he's at the back of the AlphaTauri of DK Nortec.
It's definitely getting wet out there now. You could see the AlphaTauri of DK Nortec get loose in the bridge section. We'll see if any of these guys come into pit for the inters. You got to be careful with teammates here to not double stack. As Fire Gab is going to make the move around the outside here. As there's a McLaren in the background, I think that is MVD. He lost all of his wing as he clobbered the wall. He's definitely going to have to pit. He might have been going to pit for inters anyways, but he's definitely going to have to pit for a new wing now, as it looks like the whole field is going to be diving into pit road here, ladies and gentlemen. You've never seen this big of a queue before, but they all want to get on the inters tires. Going to be double
Fire Gap
stacking at
definitely.
every single stop.
Fire Gap definitely needs to be told how to pit the right way here at Singapore. That's for sure. Electric Blade, who's the first guy on the intermediates, is going to cross the line. Let's see where it puts him in relation to the rest of the field. The top guys are coming out right now, but looks like he's going to gain a lot of positions, and he's going to come out possibly P4 behind Fire Gap. That's an excellent move for the Red Bull driver. Pitting for the intermediate tires a bit early, I think in the previous lap, has propelled him from, I think he was down at like a 16th position after the first few laps, is now in P4 fighting for the win. That's an excellent strategy by the Red Bull driver.
No, for sure. That's great strategy by Electric Blade right there. That is IQ coming into play, as I have never seen so many cars dive into pit road at once. They did not care if they were double stacking or not. They were like, give me those inters now.
This is going to be a survival of the fittest, I think, to the very end. It's really slippery out there now.
Yeah, AM2 is definitely getting used to driving in the rain, though, because it always seems to start in the dry and end in the wet. So we'll see if any of these guys have learned anything from the previous few races that could help them propel themselves onto the podium. As the field's definitely going to spread out now, as E. Warren still has not re-entered the session. So it looks like bad. As DK
DK's
retired.
safety car. Oh, not sure what happened there
As you can
to the
see,
AlphaTauri driver.
his car just planted in the barrier there. He pulled a George Russell. That is not what you love to see. Very unfortunate for DK. He's had a few unfortunate races, so very unfortunate for him to see, as that'll be another safety car, which is great for Electric Blade. As Nick Minty gets a drive-through for speeding under the safety car.
This has not been a good race for the Haas driver.
The Haas's are just very sloppy today.
It has gone from bad to worse for the Haas duo tonight.
As it's hard enough to drive around this track in the dry, so I would not want to be driving around here in the wet. Hopefully, the only good thing is most of these guys will be running pretty high wings in the dry, so it should be okay to handle in the wet, but we'll see. But again, great call by Electric Blade there to gain all those positions.
Yeah, it looks like the Red Bull have really gained a lot of positions through the race. I think they started maybe P7-9 or P7-10, something like that, and now they're fighting for the podium positions in P4 and 6. If they work together, they can probably get a really good result tonight. As E. Warren looks like he's back in the car, he's in a great position. P5 in the Williams. If he is able to finish in P5, this will be the best result for the Williams team this season.
Oh, for sure. This is where Deathstorm and Warren come to shine. But Deathstorm, I know he does love the rain, so he's probably yelling at the top of his lungs right now, so excited that the rain came.
I'm seeing a few drivers I think Dead Storm is one who's running low on fuel, so Rain is he's definitely welcoming the rain at the moment. I think he probably underfueled as well. I think I gotta say a very clever strategy from the Williams driver. Let's see if that helps as we go along in this race.
For sure. As it definitely looks like the rain's still piling down here. I'd be intrigued to see if it'll come to full wets closer to the end, but yeah, the track definitely looks like it's getting more and more wet out there. Safety car definitely doesn't help because you're running around the track at a reduced speed.
Well, this track is definitely one of the worst tracks to drive in the rain. I mean, apart from tracks like Monaco or Baku, this is up there.
Yeah, I did a race at Monaco in the rain and at night before. Trust me, it is not fun.
I think we did that race together.
We did indeed.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah, that was
we
that
did
was
we did
tragic.
get a podium. That was my first podium ever in a
Yeah,
league race.
I did
So,
get P2,
uh,
but yeah, you definitely do not like the rain at nighttime with these small tracks. It is, or I
yeah.
shouldn't say small, but tight tracks. It is definitely not a fun experience. I can tell you that.
Well, it looks pretty good though. Visually, it is looking yeah, like fire at the moment. I really like the night races. Uh, just the visuals are so good in the game.
No, for sure. Yeah, I love night races. I wish every track you could perform a night race, but unfortunately, that is not how it works. I love night
Think-
races. Oh, it's just so much easier on the eyes. Oh, this is a beautiful camera view right here. You really can see how much the rain is coming down from the TV or from the nose of Redog here.
And look at the shot of Singapore right there in the background. Just beautiful. Wonderful track to drive around. As I think we are waiting for Nick and Kane to catch up, and we'll probably be getting underway soon.
I was gonna say the lights are still on the safety car, so it does look like we may have to go around one more lap. Redog is slowing down, but the lights are still. Oh, as the lights go off, so that means we will go green this lap.
It's going to be interesting down into the first sector, especially turns 1, 2, and 3. With the rain, not going to help these drivers get any traction out of those corners.
No, for sure. I would not be surprised if we're done with the safety or not done with the safety cars yet. This is going to get very, very dicey here. Hopefully, everybody gives respectable space as Redog is off and we are back underway in Singapore as he gets a horrible exit. Matt Duo got a lot better of an exit. We'll see if he can make the pass down into turn one. It does not look like it, but we'll see. As he goes a bit deep, as Fire Gab looks like he's going to try the crossover. It looks like Fire Gab is going to get the position. We'll see. Does Mad Duo lose any other spots? As Mad Duo hits the back of Fire Gab, it looks like, but it looks like wings are intact as a little bit squirrely in the Alfa Romeo back there.
The Mercedes driver is now going to hope that he can go on a charge here against Redog.
Yeah.
As Bad Fast is going is a little bit loose and
Oh,
he's lost a few
as Mad
positions.
Duo is off. That is going to be crucial for his race. He is going to drop all the way to the back here. I don't know if he's got any wing damage, but that is a VSC as the rain is really coming down. I would not be surprised if it is full wet conditions sooner or later. As Warren,
Matt
beautiful stuff up into P4.
Matt Duo right at the moment does not have a front wing, so he'll be going into the pits. Unfortunately, it's not a safety car, so it will push him right back. I think he's going to be like 20 seconds behind the rest of the pack. I think we're underway as well.
Yeah, we just went back going as Fire Gap lost a lot of time because it looked like he had to slow down a lot out of turn 13 to make sure he did not. As the Red Bull drifts it around turn 14, he hits the wall. It looks like his wing is fully intact, but that did stack up the field a little bit. We'll see if anybody can get the run down into turn 16.
So we have another caution. Chaggerty is off, I think.
And this is turning into mayhem, ladies and gentlemen, which we are not surprised because it is a very hard track to drive in the dry. More or less the rain. We'll see who can come out on top. But you got to give respect to E. Warren as he is up into P4.
Deathstorm making some moves as well at the back. He's now up to P10. Both the Williams in the points, ladies and gentlemen. You love to see it.
This is what you love to see. This is a very good race so far. I definitely wouldn't want to be on track, but I'm having a very fun time commentating it. It's just like Japan all over again. As we got a few drivers in the back of the pack pitting, but still lots of action here up at the front. As we got Fiverr, looks like he's dropping a few positions. He might be the cause for the caution. It looks like he is getting going again.
Yeah, it doesn't look like. Oh, he's missing a right end plate, so he's going to have to come into the pits.
As Fire Gap is, as Warren went a bit deep, he's going to get passed by Fuse. It looks like he's going to get passed by the Alfa Romeo as well. Warren goes a bit deep there, hits JD, but it looks like everybody's going to come out of the corner okay.
Bad Fast trying to make a move on Warren on the outside as well. He does a switchback down to the inside, but there's just no room.
As there's contact with F7R and the Haas of Mail, it looks like everybody has their wing plates, but very, very hard racing here. Lots of contact.
This is turning out to be a mayhem right here in Contest of Speed AM2. If you've not subscribed, ladies and gentlemen, please do, or follow us. You will not see better action on track.
And I feel there's a caution as that is Fiverr again.
Fiverr.
Does not look like there's going to be any safety cars. He has got back going, but unfortunate for him, it looks like the rain is getting the better of him.
He did already have a missing front end plate, so he probably didn't brake too well. As Warren is dropping down, unfortunate for the Williams driver. He's dropping into the pits. Gets a 5-second penalty as well, I think. I think he has some wing damage here, the Williams driver. Let's see what tires he puts on. Does he go for the wets? No, he does not. He just puts on a new set of inters with a new front wing.
As Deathstorm is up into the points now in P9, he is going to have a battle with Orlando on his hands. We'll see if Orlando can make the pass. It's going to be difficult. This weather is very hard to pass in, but it is, you just let the car in front of you make a mistake, and then you slot right by. You've seen, since the rain has started, plenty and plenty of mistakes. As Bad Fast
safety
looks like
car
he might be around.
Yeah, I think it was a contact between him and Mail, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure, but he's missing a front wing. It's a safety car.
And that is our third safety car of the evening. We are on lap 18 there. If I'm not mistaken, there can only be 2 more safety cars. We'll see if anybody boxes for the wet tires or a new set of inters.
Don't see any puddles or anything on track, so I think it's still intermediate conditions at the moment. Will be interesting to see if anybody decides to put on a fresh set of intermediates to the end of the race.
For sure. The rain looks like it's coming down a lot harder than it does on track. Track looks okay, but the rain is hailing down here. As I love driving this track in the rain, I gotta be honest. I love the rain in this game. I think it's a great equalizer, but it does not look like the front 2 are gonna pit, as that 3-second time penalty is really going to hurt Fire Gap at the end of this race here, as he's going to get a drive-through for speeding under the safety car. That is going to take him fully out of contention here unless we get another safety car, because he cannot serve that under safety car. That is a very crucial mistake for the Mercedes driver.
Remember, you have to be within your delta before you cross the checkered flag to catch the safety car. And unfortunately, I think he was over it. It's just been a lot of mistakes from the Mercedes driver. He definitely has the pace, but yeah, unfortunate for him. He could have challenged Reed up tonight, but unfortunately, it looks like he can't. As Eve Warren gets a drive-through as well, now down to P14. Not a good day not turning out to be a good day for the Williams driver. And he drives into the pit for some reason. You can't serve your drive through under the safety car, unfortunately. Not sure if he's lost his wing again. Oh, he's in to serve his 5-second time penalty. That's smart.
As there's a tire update there. Everybody is on the inters. Got a few guys who pit MVD, Bad Fast, and Kane, both all on new inters. Warren and Fiverr on new inters as well. Matt Duo and Chaggerty only on 2-lap old inters. As the safety car will be out for a few laps, as we do have a very spread out field.
Yeah, I think it'll take a couple of laps for guys like E. Warren and Fiverr to catch up to the field. Not easy to do in the rain. As I'm looking at some of the penalties that we have, Fire Gab has a drive-through. Fuse, JD have 3-second time penalties. Mail has 8 seconds in time penalties. It would be smart for him to go into the pits and remove those 5 seconds. Nick Minty has a 3-second time penalty. Fiverr has 6 seconds, and E Warren has a drive-through.
Yeah, very intense race so far, and we still have over 10 laps to go here. The rain
Oh,
definitely threw a wrench in everybody's plan, but I'm very intrigued to see how this race finishes. As it
for
looks like
sure. Now,
Redog is still the survival of the fittest so far, hasn't made any mistakes, so he's definitely showing his race pace once again.
Electric Blade is now in a prime contender for P2 at the moment. I think, with the penalty for Fire Gab and the penalties for drivers behind, it'll be. I think he'll definitely be looking at getting P2 tonight and
And
getting some good points, trying to see if he can mount a challenge for the title.
And good for Fuse back up into P4 here, provisionally P3. As we did see, he did have that big spin earlier in the race, lost his whole wing, somehow didn't lose a wheel, but back up to P4, that is a great drive for him. As last week he did DNF, so it's good to see him up here fighting for the podium.
Also, your P2 from Austria, F7R I think he started at the back of the field, if I'm not mistaken. He retired in quali, and he's up into P7. So, and no penalties next to his name, and the three drivers up front have penalties. So he'll be looking for another podium this week for sure.
Oh, for sure, that's a great drive from him. Because this track is very hard to pass on. He's just let everybody else make the mistakes, and he's just picked them off one by one. And that's really what you got to do around here: force people into mistakes, and then you just slot through.
Yes, that's a brilliant strategic drive from him for sure. Unfortunate for his teammate, he has a drive-through. So I think Mercedes will be now looking at F7RJs to be looking to be getting some points tonight for the constructor fight. And oh, okay, I thought it was the rain was lightening up, but looks like it's still coming down hard.
And I was gonna say it looks like it might be getting a little bit worse. There's a few puddles here and there, but just on the outskirts of the track. While we have a bit of a break in the action here, if you guys are enjoying the stream, don't feel free to drop a follow. Follows are muchly appreciated, and if you do have Twitch Prime, you could always drop a Prime sub. Again, much appreciated. Everybody supporting the cost community. We do really appreciate it more than you guys know. Thank you for tuning in. As
Yes,
I
thank
know
you to everybody in the chat for coming out here tonight, watching the stream.
And I know this race ain't over yet, but tomorrow we're back in action with EU1 at 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UK, and then AM1 rounding off the week at 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. UK. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow as well for the top tier in each AM and EU divisions.
Going to be some a lot of intense racing tomorrow, so make sure you follow and watch some really exciting action on track. Also, if you feel like dropping in our Discord, please do feel free to join the community.
Yes, we're always looking for new drivers. You can always sign up to be a reserve, I think, is what we got left during season 13. But if you don't even want to sign up, you can just join the community, get in our social races, do lots of open lobbies. So, yeah, it's definitely a great community. And if you want, definitely join that, as the link
Yes.
is in the chat at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. We have multiple tiers coming up as well with Oceania open coming in soon, I think, as well as the F1 24 game launching in about 3 months' time, I think. So season 14 is going to be big here in Contest to Speed. So make sure you join.
Yes,
As
as
safety car
this
is in this lap.
I was just about to say that lights are off on the safety car. We're going to have 10 laps to go here. There's definitely puddles starting to form on the track. We'll see if they'll have to pit for wets or if they can stay out on the inters. But you can tell just from that, Redog went wide under safety cars. You can tell the track is definitely getting a lot wetter than it was before. We'll see if anybody dives into the pits here to put on the wets.
Sri Dog gets a good start, and he is uh, twitching there at the start. Hopefully, he's all good at the moment.
As Ricky, I
Uh,
do not think anybody has gone onto the wets as of yet, but the track was pretty good a second ago. There was no substantial puddles, but as you can see now, they've just like snapped your fingers and they're out there now. So I'd be very intrigued with 10 laps to go. You can definitely tell it's getting more slick out there. Would not be surprised if people farther in the field tried to go on the wets and make up some ground.
as Orlando makes a move on Deathstorm for P8, and Fuse and JD battling for P4 at the moment.
As the rain has really started to come down here in the last few minutes, that safety car period definitely made the track a lot more wet than it was before. We'll see if these guys can keep it on track. Very easy to put into a wall here.
The problem with inters on a full wet track is they don't get up to temperature, so it's really hard to drive. Or sorry, they overheat, so it's really hard to drive with the intermediate compounds, and there's obviously less grip. So hopefully nobody spins. And looks like Orlando is making some moves right here for P7. He's fighting with the F7RJs at the moment.
As he's smartly just going to fall back in line as it looks like somebody is off. That is Electric Blade. That is going to really hurt him. It does look like he still has his wing, but he's definitely loose there. I would not be surprised if he dives into pit road here to get a fresh set of wet tires as we got 3 wide action behind him. As there's a bit of contact, Deathstorm is off. As we got lots of battling here. We got about 2-3 wide. As it looks like Deathstorm is going to dive into the pits. I might need a wing change. Got a few guys diving in here, probably to put on the wet tires. Definitely wet tires, I would say, at this part of the race. There is so as
Fuse.
Fuse has retired. I think that is
Oh
in pit
no.
road maybe, which sucks because he was having such a good race that either is in pit road or on pit entry.
I'm not sure, but I think him and Fiverr had a moment there because Fiverr was trying to get into the pits, but then he just joined from the pit entry back onto the track. So not sure what happened there, but it looks like the drivers who put on a set of wets are Deadstorm and Mad Duo, but they're at the back of the field at the moment.
For sure. We'll see if that pays off. These guys at the front, I wouldn't be surprised if they stay on the inters because you do lose a lot of time in pit road. But if the wets are that much quicker, do not be shocked if Fire Gab is in the lead position here.
JDTV looks like he's having a fantastic race, and I'm not sure if this is his debut with Contest to Speed, but he's up in P3 and he's fighting with Mail for P2 at the
Oh,
moment.
as there's electric, I don't know if that was Bad Fast or Electric Blade. That is Bad Fast off in the
Bad fast.
background. That is not what you love to see. He'll definitely have to dive into the pit road here, so it's definitely getting more wet. We'll go on board here. Redog is pulling away. We'll see if he dives into the pits for the wet tires, as Fire Gab is going quick. But Redog definitely more confident in the wet than anybody else, it looks like, out to a 4-second gap.
Orlando is losing a few positions. I think. Oh, he's coming into the pit. He with 6, 7 laps to go. I think the top guys would want to pit for a set of wets. Let's see the lap times. I think if you look at the lap times for someone like Deathstorm, as bad fast as retired in pit lane.
Yeah, gonna have a few guys retiring in pit lane here. Lots of guys not liking the wet conditions. As it looks like MVD is gonna pull out a line here. We'll see if he can make the pass on the Haas of Nick Minty. As it looks like MVD is lagging just a hair, but he stalls back in line there. No damage done. As Redog must have had a moment because Mail caught almost 2 seconds.
Oh, it's definitely wet weather conditions at the moment. Redog will be thinking, he better go in and put on the set of wets as he is.
As
Uh,
F7R, sorry to cut you off there, but he sends a massive dive bomb up into turn, I think that was turn 10. Not the move I would have gone for there personally, but he did make contact. Hopefully, none of these guys got any damage from that.
it looks like Mad Duo is catching the Inters, so they'll be looking to make the moves pretty quick here.
Oh, and that's a lost tire for MVD. I was on board for that. He was trying to go make the pass. He just could not make it stick on those inter tires in these wet conditions. Somehow no safety car, but that is a horrible way to end your day for MVD.
As Redog has decided not to pit, the top two don't, and looks like nobody's pitting. So, and there's no safety car, so obviously they did not pit.
As F7R is looking really aggressive here. He's gone to the complete defensive move here. We'll see if Electric Blade can make the move. It looks like he's trying to go for it. They give us the worst camera angle of all time. We're going to try and go between these two as they finally give us a better camera angle. It looks like Electric Blade's going to try and send it up the inside here. We'll see if there's any contact. Another horrible camera angle, but it looks like F7R is ahead. We'll see if Kane can get past Electric Blade here. Looks like he's going to go for the move in the kink. Can they keep it together? As it looks like Electric Blade's going to outbrake the Alfa Romeo and get the position back. He did go a bit wide. He might have got a warning for that, but no penalties in tail at the moment.
As it looks like, sorry, go ahead.
As Alfa Romeo got a little bit loose there. Great drive back from Kane here as he did qualify, I think, P18. Very strong showing from him.
Orlando not being able to make any inroads as Kane has retired.
The commentator curse hits Kane as his car is having a seizure on track right in the middle there. I don't know if he's gone ghost, but again, no safety car. We might have run out of safety cars here because we did have 3 real safety cars and 2 virtual. I think that might be what happened in here as it looks like as a few people gained spots there. Sorry, tripping over my words. A lot of action here. As Warren's in the last points paying position here. But Kane, commentator's curse. That is not what you like to see. As is Firegab on the Inters? Firegab is on the Inters.
Firegab
I didn't realize
is
that.
on the Inters.
I
yes.
thought he was on the wet compound tire. I thought that's why he pit.
No, he had a drive-through.
Oh yes, correct. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Yes.
As
looks like Redog and Mail are probably matching their pace right now as the gap has remained 2.4, 2.5. F7R Jace makes a move on Electric Blade to take back P4.
Oh, for sure, yeah. F7R is looking good. If he can get within 3 seconds of JDTV here, he could have a podium spot locked up. As we are down to 13 drivers.
Deathstorm has let his teammate pass, E. Warren. Deathstorm on the wet compound tires. He'll be looking to make some inroads. But I don't see Orlando making a lot of inroads into Fire Gap. So I'm guessing it's in the threshold between inters and wets at the moment.
Yeah, the track looks a bit better than a few laps prior. I mean, there's still lots of
Redog loses the car. I'm sorry to cut you off there. He loses the car in the bridge, but he's able to hold it. Let's see if Mail is any closer. No, I think he had a big moment there, Redog, but...
Well, that was interesting. Well, I mean, lots of drivers, very spread out field at the moment. E. Warren dropped the 13th because he did pit, so another pit stop from him. As Mail Carton looks like he is out of the race, as Red Devil has left the session. Do you have an invite, Devil? As Fire Gab just lost a tire. I don't know how that happened. A little bit confused on what's going on here. Fire Gab is out of the race. It's like he hit an invisible wall. As I don't think I can get Devil back into the session. As Redog is got a 6-second gap now because Mail dropped back to P6. Sorry, I'm trying to capture all the action, ladies and gentlemen, but lots is going on here. As like Singapore brings, it's survival of the fittest. We'll see this Electric Blade and F7R position here. This is battle for the last podium spot. We'll see who can reign supreme. As this is the closest battle on track, and for the podium, we will stick on board here for the final few laps unless anything else transpires. And I am all by myself now, so I'll try and bring you the best action I can with 4 laps to go here. As Redog looks like he has this race locked up as long as he makes no mistakes. JD in P2. I think it's only a 3-second time penalty that he has at the moment. So he's in P2. We'll see if F7R and Electric Blade can make any inroads on JD here. As Deathstorm, got to give a shout out to him in P8. As Mail on the back of Orlando here. We'll see if he can make any inroads. As Mail has dropped out of the 1 second, not too concerning because there is no DRS. We'll just hop back on board here as Chaggerty has joined the charge. He is on the back of Electric Blade now. We'll see if he can make any moves for the last podium position here. As I don't know what tire compound he is on. We will try and see here. He's on the inters as well. So these these 3, 4, and 5 all on the inter compound. As F7R does look like the fastest out of the 3. Looks like Electric Blade has lost a little bit of pace. We'll see if Chaggerty can make the move. As yes, I definitely think Electric Blade is definitely losing a bit of pace. Chaggerty is right on the back of the diffuser of the Red Bull. Chaggerty, I don't know how much DRS he has left. It's hard to tell because they always blink. Not going to make a pass down into turn 7 this time around. As Fire Gab has left the session. I will stay on board with this battle. Chaggerty's got to get past sooner rather than later here if he wants a chance at fighting for that last podium position. As this is the only battle on track at the moment. Everybody else is very spread out. Again, Chaggerty, he's got to get past Electric Blade soon. As at the moment, it looks like JD is going to have P2 locked up. Whether that's a 3-second or 5-second, he is looking clear. He's actually catching Redog, but not by enough. As I'm sure these gentlemen are just trying to crawl the cars back home. Most of them will get points. Only the 2 drivers in the rear will not be getting points this race. Survival of the fittest nonetheless. As Chaggerty is still close, as Electric Blade has crawled in F7R a hair, but I don't think it's enough. We'll see if any moves can get done on the front stretch. As a big tail whip from the 3rd place driver of F7R there. Luckily, he had a big enough lead. As Orlando is coming in here on the wets, we'll see if he can make any positions up in the final 3 laps. He is on the wet compound tire. I think that is the optimal race tire right now. He is coming. Orlando getting past Chaggerty. You can tell the wet tires are definitely the tires you want to be on at the moment. They're also a lot fresher, as it looks like he is ghosted inside Electric Blade. A little bit of contact there maybe. They're going to go too wide, as they're all ghosted for some reason. I don't know what's going on, but Orlando's getting the pass done, as Electric Blade is going to get past F7R. Not too sure what happened right there. They did go ghost. I don't know if it's because they were going slower. Ghosting could be making that happen. I'm not 100% sure. But F7R lost the position and all that. I'm sure he's not too happy about that. But we'll see. I don't know if Orlando can catch 7 seconds within the last 3 laps, but we will stay on board here. Or we'll keep you in the loop anyways, as Chaggerty is right on the back of F7R here. As Orlando is catching, but I just don't think it's going to be by enough. JD is also reeling in Redog, only 2.5 seconds behind now. As Deathstorm, so close to Mail Carton. We'll stay on board here with Deathstorm, see if he can get past Mail. Great drive by Deathstorm here to be in P8. I know he loves the rain. That's when he comes into his own. As Chaggerty will go on board with him just for a second. We'll see if he can make the pass down into turn 1. It does not look like he's going to go for it, as Electric Blade has sailed away from these two. As Deathstorm is going to get past Mail. We'll see if Mad Duo can get past. Does not look like it. Mad Duo also on the wet tire. He should be able to get past Mail by the end of this race with 2 laps to go. As JD is catching. Only a second and a half back now, but he does have a time penalty, so that will hinder him in the final results. Trying to bring you all the action here as Chaggerty, gets a little bit loose there. Great save by him. Not going to be able to make the pass on F7R down into turn 7. As we'll try and keep every action in frame here, as Mad Duo looks like he could not get past Mail Carton. Mail Carton is holding him up just a hair, as Mad Duo is on the better racing tire. As we got Redog's gap has shrunk. JDTV is there. But again, JDTV does have that time penalty, so Redog should still have this in the bag. As there is a caution behind. I don't see any drivers off, so not too sure what that is for. But JD definitely has the pace at the moment, as Orlando is catching, ladies and gentlemen. He does not have a time penalty. He's got a lap and a quarter here. We'll see if he can make it done. As JD, right on the back here, definitely going to have a worse handling car now that he's caught, as Orlando sees it and stalking his predator in the background. As I hear fireworks going off, but the race is not completed, so I'm not too sure what those are for. But JD gets the pass down into turn 1 here. Redog has choked. We'll see if Orlando can come through and get P2. He's in pole position here to get P2, but he could even snag P1 with JD's time penalty. The fireworks are going off for all the action. We'll see how this finishes. Orlando is within a second. He's gaining. We'll see if he can get the pass done into turn 7. Most likely not. But JDTV has run away here. We'll see if he can pull a 3-second gap. But Redog is struggling hard on these tires, as Orlando needs to get past. Redog has ghosted. I think the issue is the guys on the inters are too slow for the wets, and that is why they are ghosting to Orlando. But Orlando is on for his first victory of the season if he can keep it together here. Redog is still on for P2. JD will at least finish with a podium as long as he doesn't bin it here, but he's definitely trying to get within 3 seconds of Redog so he can at least get P2. Orlando is there. Great strategy call on the wet tires here. I mean, he doesn't need to make the pass, but for his ego, he might want to. As he's going to do a hood send. Horrible move by Orlando there. That is not what you want to see. He definitely did not have to do that. We'll see if Redog can come back in contention here. It's going to be a close fight to the finish here, ladies and gentlemen. As Reed Dog gets through, we'll see if he can make the pass for first. Orlando's going to make the dive. A little bit of contact as they are ghosted. As Orlando, they're ghosted again. We'll see who can get the best drive off on the final turn here. As somehow the game is glitched and Male Carton is in P2. I'm not 100% sure what's happening. The whole system is messed up. I don't know what, Ricky, I don't know what happened. That finishing order is definitely not correct. I'm a little bit, I don't think Redog won. I'm pretty sure Orlando won. Then Redog P2 and JD P3. So I don't think we're gonna get interviews this week, boys, because I'm not 100% sure the correct finishing order across the line. The game did indeed bug. We'll see if it fixes itself out here. It did not. I'm a little bit confused, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, everybody. Not exactly sure what happened, but we're not going to do interviews this week because, again, I'm not too sure of the actual finishing order. I'm like 95% sure it was Orlando, then Redog, then JDTV, but because Electric Blade was about 12 seconds behind the last time I saw it, and Male was like crazy amounts behind. So again, not 100% sure what was going on here. We'll figure it out and we'll have it good for next week. We're gonna have to do some investigating. But anyways, either way, that was a great intense race there. Great driving by Orlando, Redog, and our JDTV there. Especially Orlando, great strategy call there at the end. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he has won. But I'm not too sure. But again, congratulations to everybody that survived. It was definitely a race of survival here. Again, sorry that we don't exactly know the right finishing order. The game did indeed glitch, but we'll get that sorted out for next week, and we'll show you the results when everything's all said and done. But until then, hope everybody enjoyed watching. And enjoy the rest of your evening. We have AM1 tomorrow and EU1 tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for those streams. Have a great rest of your night and keep your car on the track.